Who knows you that?
So, do you know what happened today? So I've not worn these trousers for a little while. Okay, found them in the back of my wardrobe.
Did you find money in them?
I found 15 quid in the back of my pocket. How good is that? Like what was that?
I used to, so when
I remember this.
Yeah, when I used to teach golf, it was always outside. We didn't have any indoor facilities where I was teaching at. So a lot of time people would come with the cash and give you the money, and I would shove it. There was a, as there is in this particular garment, it was a.
I thought it was an inside pocket you used to have.
Well, it was like that, and I just used to put, like people give you,
I'll
just put,
Sunderland jacket.
Just to stick it in there, and there was an inside pocket as well, stick it in there. But I'd forget about it quite often. I could go back, because some people would pay in the shop. You know, probably wasn't quite as good at bookkeeping as I should have been. And then I would like shove the top in like for the winter, forget about it sometimes, pull it out, and there'd be like loads of money in it. Oh. Hope there's no taxman watching this.
Well, I'm sure you declared it once you found it, but yeah. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday morning show. Good morning, Leicester.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, everybody.
All right?
Very good. Yeah, nice to see you back in the country.
Have I got a bit of a tan? Do you think I have? Do you think I've picked up anything?
Yeah, I would say there's a slight, you got a slight darkness to you.
A glow?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, you're definitely browner than I am.
I was a bit concerned because obviously it was the coldest I've ever experienced in Florida. It rained the first 2 days and then it was Baltic after that.
I did see you playing a puffer jacket, which was... Is that you're so cold you played in that, or?
I mean, that is a warm...
Was you a bit restricted with that?
No, it was actually. Right? I've got a feeling I might be using that again in the future.
Because I couldn't play in mine; it'd rip.
No, it was a good little. It was a good jacket to play in. I was caught off guard, so I had to wear that jacket.
Did you take enough like jumpers and warm weather stuff?
That's why I was wearing. I literally didn't take that jacket off the whole trip. I took it off. I think I took it off just to do the Sunday morning show. And maybe one other round of golf, which got cold at the end, and I was Baltically cold at the end. Again, no waterproofs. I thought, you know, when I'm packing it, I'm thinking, I am not taking my waterproofs to Florida.
Did you not take any waterproofs?
No. Like, who does that?
Them in your bag?
No.
Bag?
I was struggling for space and weight.
Right.
Because BA just want to rip you off.
And you do wear like 19 pairs of golf shoes, don't you?
I had a few pairs. I had. Do you know what I took with me? I took like 5 pairs of shorts.
And never wore any of them.
They didn't even see daylight. But
it's obviously colder than it would normally be this time of year.
So it was a weird. Well, it was the coldest it had been for like 15 years. So
it wasn't much warmer than what we had here.
It's been cold. It's colder than here. It was colder than here. I think the temperature's gone up a bit since we left, but it was so. I was talking to Rich about it. So Rich Francis, who was on the vlog this week.
Yeah.
Proper golfer.
Yeah, looked like he could play a bit.
Yeah. He hadn't played for 12 years.
That's what I mean, because he didn't play for 12 years.
That's the thing with Rich. He's like,
scary,
he unless he's committed and he's in it, like he would rather just bench it for a while.
Yeah.
You know, and then come back to it maybe later on, which is what he's done. He was focusing so hard on his career, he's focused so hard on his business, that he just put golf to one side. It's always there in the back of his mind, like he would have, I imagine, right, this is Rich through and through, I imagine that his garage was still racked up, perfectly racked up with all his clubs, okay, all cleaned, ready to go for 12 years, just waiting there.
I could imagine him being, I mean, I don't really know him very well. I've met Rocky and Ryan a few times, but I could imagine he's the type that's going to work really hard till he's like 50 and then would take early retirement and be on the golf course like 24/7. Like I just imagine him doing that. Like I've got a plan. I'm going to work as hard as I can. Rather than us, we're going to still be working when we're like 75.
Yeah, it would. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about, I was talking in the buggy to Rich about it, and I was sort of saying, like, why does it feel so cold? And he thinks because it's humid, you get the water particles, or what they call it, in the air.
Moisture.
Yeah. I was thinking of something else, but moisture will do. You get that in the air, and then when that kind of freezes or gets really, really cold, like it makes it feel colder on your face, and there was a bit of a breeze, and it just felt
weird. There
felt cold.
was a breeze on that golf course.
Yeah. Oh, in the middle of the state.
Yeah, in the middle of the state. You wouldn't
literally
think there would, like, you'd think more likely to get the wind sort of
on the coast.
On the coast, not so inland.
Well,
and it was quite sheltered, wasn't it? It wasn't like it was an exposed golf course.
It was. It probably looked a little bit sheltered, but it was actually a bit of a. But it was that area, like that whole area. But so when we used to play and we used to go out to the coast, it was windy. So when we used to go down to Miami, it was always blowing a gale.
Yeah.
But that was fine, and you kind of knew that was what was happening. When we played in and around the college, which is again more in the middle of the state, it's closer to the east coast, but it's still in the middle of the state. Like it wasn't really that windy, but it was just weird. Like I was just chatting, I'm like, oh, it's a bit breezy. I was chatting with this college. There was 2 colleges out there doing tournaments. Like they weren't doing tournaments, they were doing qualifying for their team. So they obviously all practice out there. Some great golf swings.
Yeah.
And I was just chatting with one of the guys on the putting green, and I was like, is it always this windy? He's like, yeah, there's always a breeze here. He's like, I know it's in the middle of the state, but there's always a breeze on this golf course. But and the golf course probably set up perfectly for that. Grasslands Golf and Country Club, which was in the middle of Lakeland area, and it kind of was set up so it was a bit more open. It was probably open because it was exposed a bit more to the. But we took ages to play. Yeah. It's one of those because we teed off.
Vlogging on just because they were slow and chatting.
No, I was chatting. I couldn't stop talking. I've had to cut. Like that first vlog was part 1 was 38 minutes long. I just couldn't stop talking. And the reason for that is because obviously I was catching up with everybody, and it was just nice to get them on the golf course and film with them. Yeah. But it was cold. It was cold. So yeah, great trip, fantastic trip. Very, very good. Jordan had, I think,
the time of his life.
Well, he really enjoyed hanging out with the boys. Like he did. Like the idea of that trip was to go over there, get some, drum up some business, introduce ourselves to people, which we did. And the PGA show was flaky, but okay, good enough to be able to get our business cards out there. But obviously, as part of the trip, the idea was to film with the guys and see them and see the university and go down, like I said, but down memory lane, which is what we did.
Nostalgia.
Exactly, love a bit of that. And it was so. But Jordan, obviously, they took to Jordan pretty, as they would do. We ventured into Orlando one evening, which Jordan enjoyed. So and the boys obviously we obviously all went out together. It was fantastic to catch up with all the guys. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good trip. It was a good trip, and hopefully, we haven't seen each other for like 12 years or 10 years, some of us. So and we were all sort of saying to each other, it's ridiculous. Like you need with modern day FaceTime, WhatsApp, texting to each other, like you should keep in touch more.
Yeah.
But life
I think it's great that even though you haven't seen them for, 10, 12 years, that when you reunite, it's almost straight back to your college days, and it's a seamless link, isn't it? Straight back in there. It's like nothing's changed, and it's great, really, isn't it? And it's good to friendships for life, and that generally is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and it really is like that. There was no anxiousness or anything around what you're going to. It was just literally straight away, bang. The banter starts flying. Everyone's making fun of each other.
They've got a different sense of humour, haven't they, than what we have?
They have, but you got to remember, you got to think, right? So all the friends that were there, Rocky's from Michigan, but he lived with me, so he was probably my closest friend out there. Yeah. He lived with me for a long, for 3.5 years or 3 years. Yeah. So he just got, he could understand what was kind of. You had Ernie, who's South African, which is not his name. His name's Johan, but we call him Ernie because it was a lot easier. Yeah. Rich Francis. Even though he's American, sounds American, he's originally from Birmingham, England.
I would never got that.
No, so he moved out there when he was like 10 or 11 years old. So he's got a full Floridian Lake City accent. Yeah. But he has that, when he has a few drinks, his Brummie comes out a little bit in him. So he's obviously English, so he has that type. That. And then obviously Damo's English, lives in the Bahamas. And then you had Phil, who's American. So we only had a couple of Americans, and there was 2 lads that or 2 or 3 that couldn't come and see us, who are from Canada. One was French Canadian, one's, you know, American Canadian.
Yeah.
Is that fair? No, it's not. English Canadian. Canadian. It's Canadian. It's
You just insulted every single person
Everyone.
in Canada
I do
in one go.
apologise. All Canadians. I'm sorry.
Within 20
I'm
seconds.
sorry.
Well
It just
done.
he sounds Canadian.
Whoops.
But anyway, yeah.
How come the subs are suddenly gone down to
I know.
40,000?
We've dropped. We've lost
Weird,
all the
isn't it?
Canadians. Gone.
All that hard work the last year gone.
So the banter is, but yeah, the banter was floating about a bit. It was good fun. So, but how did you enjoy? Did you enjoy the vlog this?
Yeah,
this
really
week?
good. Really, I never visited you in America.
Garrett did.
Yeah,
Jarrett came
I
out.
think mainly because at that time when you went over there, I just turned pro and I was busy.
Oh
I was
yeah.
just busy, so I was trying to do everything. I was trying to play a little bit. I was working hours in the shop, trying to do my PJ, and I was teaching full time.
Yeah.
So it was just.
And you were working out a lot back then as well, weren't you? You spent a lot of time in the gym.
You know my favourite machine in the gym, the vending machine.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I never managed to get out there. So it was nice for me to see where you spent sort of.
Oh, what did you? Yeah, the memory lane,
Yeah,
the memory
I
lane
really enjoyed
video.
that, yeah, so it was nice to see sort of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the course vlog was good. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to see like your college and
Yeah.
you know see Greenleaf because obviously you talk so highly about places and people. So it was just nice to sort of have a look at that really. And
So Greenleaf.
I know what that are. Just literally.
I
I'm
literally,
really upset. Not upset.
like-
'Cause I don't really know the place,
Yeah.
but I know how you spoke about it, and
Yeah.
I know of its history and its traditions, and then to see it in that state.
It honestly, on camera, I'm saying this.
Yeah.
It brought a small tear to my
Yeah,
eye
bound to.
because
I
I
get
was.
the same with the Palace Hotel
Yeah, I'm sure.
in
I'm
Torquay
sure you would,
where,
yeah.
where I worked, and
Yeah.
now during lockdown it got slowly demolished,
Yeah.
and I used to run past it when I was running, and every day something different had gone. You go, oh, and then now it's just flattened, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's like you
But
can't.
it's positive news though, isn't it?
It's
Let's be
great.
honest.
Well, it's great news,
Right.
and fingers crossed, Greenleaf will be back up and running. If you haven't seen that vlog, make sure you head over and just check out that vlog. It's kind of it was put on. I put it out. I think on Tuesday it came out.
Yeah.
Head over and have a little look at that. It's basically memory lane for me. So I went to Weber. I played golf with the guys and did a bit of that, and then we did Greenleaf, which is where I lived and worked, played golf. I spent more time at Greenleaf than I did at Weber for a long
Yeah.
time. You know.
Yeah, so I look at all the comments on YouTube, and there's a gentleman on there who always, literally every video comments, watches a lot of our stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know his name because he uses like
A YouTube
a
word.
YouTube way.
yeah.
I think something like Coin Hunter or Coin something.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice guy, was very positive about it. And he said, I don't know how true this is, but maybe hit in the comments section if you are from America or
Yeah.
you know a little bit about American golf, that there was a massive boom, obviously, when Tiger Woods started playing in sort of middle to late 90s,
Yeah.
and there wasn't enough golf courses for people that wanted to play. If you couldn't get tee times, they really struggled. So a lot of these golf courses all popped up, you know, in different areas where there was a lot of people wanting to play golf. And since Tiger's declined or he's left the tour, etc., that boom, which has sort of deteriorated, a lot of golf courses have gone into the same state as what Greenleaf have. There's not enough members, they couldn't financially keep going, so they've had to close down. So there's quite a lot of them now that have been built on that were former golf club sites
Yeah.
that didn't last particularly long, that you know have got housing and residential on them.
So, like, I think he's absolutely spot
Yeah.
on, and that happened in the UK, if you remember.
Yeah.
You know, we've got golf clubs that have been
Still
closing
happening now,
down.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Or it was
Pre-COVID
yeah.
stuff. But the thing with Greenleaf is that it was it was booming, and it was owned by a Japanese company who owned, I believe, Lacala or La Costa or something like that over in California.
Yeah.
And what they were doing is they were trying to build up the profile of that golf club. So they were taking all the profits out of Greenleaf and putting it in over there.
Right.
And they basically bankrupted the business,
Yeah.
which had then a huge knock-on effect. And then when the new guy came in, the the Westgate Resorts guy, he was a big timeshare guy. I think he wanted to create all the condos, because there's hundreds of condos on that golf course. He wanted to take those condos, which were basically like hotel rooms, he wanted to make them timeshare.
Okay.
So he wanted to capitalise the local authorities wouldn't allow it.
No.
So he kind of lost the plot a little bit with it, I believe. And also that possibly when the hurricanes come through, it just demolished it a bit, and it was in such a bad state of affairs. Yeah.
To redo it, wasn't it? You need a certain amount of money and revenue needed to regenerate the place.
But it's unfortunately it's a little out of the way, so it's a good 40 minutes away from Orlando.
Yeah.
There's so much happening in Orlando, and why would people travel down there to play a golf course that's really not to the standard of everything else? So it's a really, once you go into that little spiral of negativity and decline,
it's hard to get back out of it. 100%.
So that was Greenleaf, and that was a great opportunity to go and see it, and hopefully, as you quite rightly said, hopefully there is light at the end of the tunnel with it. Like I said in the video, hopefully it will be bouncing back, and I certainly, I would love to spend more time out there at some stage with it all.
I would say you don't want to leave it 12 years or whatever to return. It'd be nice to go and play. Because you've got the videos and the pictures of what Greenleaf is like now, when they do regenerate it.
Yeah, I would love
and get it going, to go and have a look at the difference.
Yeah.
And it'd be quite a good contrast and compare video, wouldn't it?
It really would. It really would, with that drone footage as well. It'd be great. But we also played, and if you look behind us, you'll see a flag on the wall. Now, that flag is a Open Championship flag, the 149th flag at Royal St George's. Well, it's actually gone into that position because I took another flag down. Now that one was very kindly donated to the team and to the office. Well, to me and you, basically, by Paul Tully. Yeah. So obviously, Paul, thank you very much for that. And it does actually sit more behind Leicester, so we keep it kind of over by our desks. Now the one that sits over there normally is the 2010 version of that from St Andrews. Now I was at 2000, sorry. But
only 10 years out.
Only 10 years out. Time flies, isn't it?
What's 10 years between mates?
Exactly right. So that flag over there I've taken down at the moment because when we were in the States, I was due to play golf on the last day before we left at a golf club called Ocala. I've got to get this right. Golden Ocala Equestrian and Golf Club. Okay. Pretty private.
I was going to say, it sounded, doesn't it?
Pretty private, right?
The word equestrian always sounds out.
I've never seen that in a golf club.
No.
But anyway, if you ever go to Ocala and you see the equestrian centre that they've set up there, which Johan, is part of because he's massively into that. He used to ride horses for South Africa and he's amazing, fantastic. We were invited to go and play, but I was supposed to be playing with Louis Oosthuizen, who is my favourite golfer of all time. So growing up, Greg Norman was my favourite, but as Greg Norman moved on, I needed another favourite, and that next favourite was Louis. And but Louis was due to play with us, but because it was so cold, and his wife had had COVID over in South Africa.
Basically, he didn't want to go out in the weather, did he?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
You weren't enough of a draw.
And I was like...
And I don't blame him.
So even though I had a small tear in my eye about Greenleaf, I also had a small tear in my eye about the fact that I couldn't play golf. A lot of crying, a lot of emotions floating around.
Did you meet him then?
No, because he'd only just flown back in from South Africa. So we didn't get a chance to meet him. So what I've done is I've taken that flag and I've left it with Ernie, who is good friends with Louis, both South Africans, become really close friends through the riding, horse riding for his kids, and because Louis's got farms. He's got a farm in South Africa, he's got a farm in Ocala, and Ernie's good friends with them. They go out drinking together, they play golf together. So it will happen. Like, I'm absolutely certain of it that Ernie will get me on the golf course with Louis at some stage, all right? But I've left my flag over there with Ernie for Ernie to get it signed by Louis. I've also left over there 3 Open Championship golf balls for him to sign. So that flag will go back up. So big thank you to Paul, obviously, again, but that flag will go back up with Louis' signature on the flag. Good little story, that, wasn't it?
Did you leave him the postage money?
No. So we were chatting about that.
You got to go and collect it. That's a good excuse to go back.
I said, Ernie, leave it here. Leave it here. I'll come and get it.
In 12 years' time.
Yeah. So that's the crack.
Cool.
So there you go. So What a delight.
Well done.
What nearly a delight that was.
What a great story that was.
Well, you like them. You love my little nuggets, don't you?
Such a nearly good story as well, wasn't it? You just let yourself down by not meeting him. I'd have lied and said, yeah, I saw him, we hung out, went for a few beers. He was a great guy. Because he doesn't watch this, he wouldn't know, would he?
You never know. You never know.
No, I know. I know he doesn't watch this. I don't even watch this and I'm on it.
So anyway, how has HQ been since I've been away?
Yeah, there was a few
Have you kept everything moving in the right direction?
There was a few minor...
There's a lot of cardboard boxes about.
Yeah, there's a few minor indiscretions, that word?
I don't know. You just made it up.
What's that word?
It's a good word.
Johnny, what's that word?
Indiscretions.
That's it, indiscretions. Yeah, we had a few issues.
But
I'm
at least we're
blaming-
still standing and the business is still actually afloat.
Yeah, I'm blaming you, to be honest, because you didn't really leave the right instructions. So
Oh.
we had a video that was late going up one of the days.
Oh, yeah, but that was my fault.
Yeah.
That was my
So I was
fault.
getting the blame for it.
Yeah, well, actually, do you know who came in and saved the day there?
Lee Whitaker Golf.
Lee Whitaker Golf jumped in
He
there.
did.
It was all a bit, time was all over the place. I got caught up with my friends, forgot to set the video to go live.
That's not good enough.
You got the blame, and I let that go because I thought it was quite funny.
These people are getting free videos and they're moaning about not getting their videos on time. That's not right, Dan.
I actually forgot about that, but a big thank you to Lee for making sure that he's always got our back. He's always got our back. Can I just wish him all the best for his new role, by the way, at Dartmouth?
I haven't finished yet.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, it's all about me, this section.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Johnny set a video up and we made it child friendly because we thought they are, with their PG really, our videos. So no one could comment, so that was another issue. We didn't have any comments for a few hours.
Jordan sorted that out.
But Jordan sorted that out, so yeah. But apart from that, Johnny got all 6 course vlogs done. There was a bit of blood, sweat and tears. And
that was Bude, wasn't it?
Bude, so yeah, that was all Johnny's work. But we got all that out, which was brilliant. So apart from that, it was a busy week, but a good week. Oh, and also the battery gate. Did we mention that or not?
Yeah, why not? Throw it out there.
So I was meant to be going to film Paul playing in a Devon PGA Alliance on last Thursday. So all the stuff was all ready to go and laid out. So I came in on Thursday morning early to grab the camera, and I thought I'm just going to check the batteries that Dan said were
fully charged.
So pop the first one on, it's got 1 bar on it. I thought, oh, that's not good. So pick the second one up, 1 bar on it. Pick the third one up, 1 bar on it. So I've got 4 batteries with 1 bar on. So I quickly stuck them on charge for like half an hour, 45 minutes. Phoned Paul to see what he thought. Paul was as helpful as ever. I said,
he was preparing.
He said, phone Dan. I said, it's like 4 a.m, he's not going to want me phoning him up. So I waited and the battery didn't charge. But I didn't know that they don't ever show full charge on those particular batteries, which is a bit strange.
I'm a little disappointed that I left you with those batteries.
Well, if I'd have known,
because
those are the. But I didn't want to. It was over an hour drive, and I thought if I get there and
those are the cheaper batteries that I left you with, and they don't show. They only show 1 bar, so they don't show percentages. I don't even know why I bought them, but anyway, we bought them, and I should have just spent that extra £3 and bought the ones that were like the good ones.
So unfortunately, I didn't video Paul playing golf on Thursday, so a bit disappointed with that, but it is what it is.
Is what it is.
You learn from your mistakes and move on.
You certainly do.
And I still have a job, so it's all good.
You're still here, so we're all happy. Everyone's happy. Okay, so...
Oh, Lee Whitaker, you want to mention Lee, don't you?
Oh, I've just done that, but I will do it again.
It wasn't a proper mention, just a...
Well, he's just started his new job. He's just started a new job at Dartmouth Golf and Country Club as a trainee PGA professional to get his PGA done.
You see his little badge on his head?
Lee.
Lee, it said.
Lee. That side,
You wouldn't think you need that when you're a YouTube star, would you?
I saw your comments to him. I saw you stirring the pot.
Got on you.
He doesn't bite, does he, at all?
No, he knows what I'm like now. Disappointing, really.
Yeah, you've shown your hand way too early.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a good poker player.
No.
No, but good luck to Lee. It looks like a good role he's got there. It's a great place, Dartmouth, as well. We've done a course vlog around both courses,
Just
haven't we?
a good... It's a cracking place, cracking venue.
Yeah, got so much potential as well.
Oh, yeah. Championship golf course, another 9-hole course, spa, pool, hotel. It's got everything, really.
Yeah,
absolutely everything. So good luck to Lee.
I wanted to discuss the new tour, the new world tour, which isn't a world tour.
Okay, this could be the longest Sunday show we've ever done. This is great. I love this.
Well, people have asked for some
extended version Sunday show. Yeah, this is it.
This is the longest.
This could have been a podcast.
No, people have been asking, and it's in the news recently about the new DP World Tour, isn't it?
Yes.
but it's not really a world tour, is it?
So
it's a rebrand, isn't it, with a sponsor that's called
it's
DP.
the Asian. It's the
Asian
tour.
tour rebranded, but with the word world,
Yeah.
you suddenly think that it's a new tour, but it's not. It's the Asian tour rebranded, really, isn't it?
I'm going to take
with more money.
I'm going to take you back a bit in history, in time.
Oh,
okay?
I love this.
So go back to like the 90s. Go back to the 90s, and you had Greg Norman, who was like he was the man.
World player, wasn't he?
He was the man. He was the man in many areas within not just golf, but he had businesses everywhere. He's the man. He still probably is. Greg Norman, Phil Price, all these guys, you got to remember, they are world travellers. So Greg Norman's from Australia, Nick Price was from Zimbabwe. They were world-beating golfers, but they were travelling hugely. And you look at Ernie Els over the years, he's travelled all the way around the world, winning in everywhere. Okay?
Bases everywhere, haven't they?
They've gone everywhere, And what happened is they wanted to create a world. They wanted a world tour that sat on top of the European Tour, Asian Tour, US Tour. Okay.
So those PGA other tours would almost feed into that.
They would feed into that world tour. So you'd have a top.
Which happens in a lot of sports. Surfing.
Yeah.
Luke was mentioning that, wasn't he? He's in the one below the world tour.
Yeah. And so I think that world tour would move itself around the world as much as it possibly could. Okay. Well, what was happening is the PGA Tour was the number one tour. Yeah. So I believe, and probably someone might jump onto it. Yeah, well, it is.
With regards to prize money, ranking points, world points.
So the other tours have fed into the PGA Tour. Well, those guys wanted it slightly different. They wanted the US Tour, the European Tour, the Asian Tour, the Sunshine Tour, which was down in South Africa. You had the Australasian Tour, Australian Tour. So they all wanted to feed into this world tour, or that's what those guys wanted.
They've sort of done that a little bit, though, haven't they? Because they have those standout events which are on a world tour.
Well, they're world championship events.
That's what I mean. So they're like not level with the majors, but that little step below, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, those guys, Greg Norman in particular, I think he butted heads with the PGA Tour, the European Tour. He butted heads with them because they didn't want that.
No.
They didn't want that, and but some of the players wanted that.
Yeah.
And I imagine with Greg Norman that once he gets something between his teeth, he's off. He wants to do it. So I think he quietly has been nibbling away over the years, trying to create this tour, which he's now obviously found an access point through possibly the Asian Tour to get it up to that level of what he wants it to be. That's from what I've read in his book. Yeah. That's from what I've read in his book, and they did butt heads because the PGA Tour wouldn't allow. If they were going to go and do that, they were like, go away from our tour. If you're going to go and do that, leave our tour.
Which is a little bit now what they're sort of saying, isn't it? They're talking about Ryder Cup bans for anybody who signs up or anybody who becomes a member of that particular tour. It's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, I know a lot of people say there's enough money in golf that the players necessarily don't need to be greedy and to join that tour for it, but then money talks, doesn't it? Let's be honest. I mean,
money does talk.
If I was in someone like Lee Westwood's position, who
coming to the end of the career,
in the twilight of their career, maybe not going to win a major championship, maybe not going to play Ryder Cup again. I mean, he could do. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see that. Maybe sponsorship starting to sort of diminish slightly because of his possibly. I don't know. But if you're suddenly offered 20, 30, 40, 50 or upwards of £100 million to join this tour for 5 years with no cuts, guaranteed prize money as well as appearance fees, you might have all the money in the world, but you're not going to turn down. Personally, turn down the opportunity. If someone offers you, if you're only going to earn, say, another 10 million in your career, I know it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, but if someone offers you 100 million, that 10 million then looks really insignificant in comparison, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know enough about it to really go into too much of a comment on it as such.
I know they're offering the top players money.
They will offer them big money.
And there will be some that will deflect to it.
Because you've got to think how much money, if you get the top 50 in the world every week or every couple of weeks together and there's no cut and they're there for 4 days and they're playing just golf for 4 days, the amount of interest and the sponsorship and things like that it's no different than if you take the Champions Tour right now, okay,
thriving, isn't it? And growing.
Well, when we were in the States, I was hoping to switch the TV on, but never had a chance to really do it. But what I was interested in is watching the Champions Tour, because they're all my generation of. I remember as a kid watching Retief Hoosen, Ernie Els, Colin Montgomery, all these, Hale Irwin, I don't know if he's still playing, but those guys, I remember watching those guys compete week in, week out, and I loved them. I loved the characters, I loved everything about them. But now, they're not on the PGA Tour, they're on the Champions Tour, and I actually have an interest in that, as there will be many people watching this video that are in that sort of age category that will have an interest in that. But, well, you know, so my eyes are going to be drawn to that. Also, my eyes are going to be drawn to the World Tour, because it's got all the world best players in it. So money, as you quite rightly said, money talks. And at the end of the day, if you get the best of the best, people are going to pay to see it. It's not
a new concept or something that's happened in sport. I mean, in the 90s, I remember the cricket. My dad used to be a big cricket fan, and we used to follow cricket. Quite a lot of the English international cricketers went and played a tour in South Africa. It was like a breakaway tour.
Yeah.
Don't know I mean, this is like a second-hand story. But they went, like, there was quite a few of the best players that were England players. Maybe it was the older players. They went and played this South African breakaway tour. I mean, there wasn't the money that involved in cricket then as is now, like with the Indian Premier League and all these extra sort of 20 over bashes and stuff like that. But they all went for a tour, and they got, they were financially sort of looked after, but they were banned from then playing for England for a certain number of years. Yeah. I think a few of them, once they decided that it was, they'd served the time, came back into the England fold, but the money was like phenomenal. It was like 5 or 6 years worth of wages.
And that's no different in rugby union.
No.
But
if you play in France, you can't play for England,
correct.
can you? Which, I mean, that's always a bit. I know you're trying to support your own country's sort of leagues, but it seems, when those sports where you don't earn as much money as others, you think that.
I think once it gets off the ground and once it gets going, we'll know what's going to be happening. But the reality is, it's the Asian tour at the moment. It's the Asian tour, and there's a bit of money behind it to back it and get involved with it. So. Who knows? But I know that hopefully that little bit of history there might give a bit of an insight.
I mean, if I was at my age now, when I thought,
it's like you got a little pocket there, isn't it?
I know, it's nice, isn't it? It's the animal. But like if I was at my age now, and I thought, well, I'm possibly not going to be winning tournaments, or I'm going to win very limited tournaments, and I've had a good career, maybe I had a major championship, etc., and they were offering me that sort of money, I would definitely deflect to it. Like, there's only so much loyalty you can have, and if that's going to prolong my career and with no cuts and stuff, but would it be competitive with no cuts?
I think it would be. I think you'll find winners coming from the pack.
Do you? I'm not sure. I think
you'll find, because you got the likes of Rory he'll go out and shoot 76 and then he still wins.
Yeah, but is he going to go and join that tour? I don't think so. Not if he's going to get banned from Ryder Cup and major championships. Whereas
people might make a stand though. People might make a stand, as in they're never going to get it off the ground unless people make a stand, and that's what you might find.
They're going to need a few market players, aren't they?
Don't tell me that I cannot play what I want to play in type of attitude, So you might find that.
Yeah, you might, but I'm just thinking if you say got 2 or 3 of the top 10 playing, and then a lot of the people, then it went down to the top 100, there might only be 3 winners every week.
True story.
Or 2 winners, or 1 winner, depending on how, which then it'd be uncompetitive, especially if there's no cut.
Yeah.
That's a good story on a Friday, isn't it? Watching people trying to make the cut.
Yeah. Well, it adds to the drama of it. Absolutely right.
100%.
Well, I think we've
waffled a lot.
Yeah, we've gone for it today, haven't we?
But like we've sat here for hours.
What I do want to mention is the bus tour.
Yes.
So enlighten us. Tell us.
So
it's all happening.
Yeah, we've got Trevose coming up on the 20th and 21st of February. So it's a Sunday, Monday. 2 rounds of golf, overnight stay, 3-course meal in the evening, and then breakfast before we play. There'll be prizes, an opportunity to play golf with both me and Dan around one of the best courses in the southwest. There are still places available for that particular trip. It's nearly full. Graham's been doing a bit of chasing. It's not many, but if you do want to go, I'm pretty sure we could probably still get you on it. But we've got more events that are going to be that have been announced. So will they be going along the ticker bar here?
Probably.
So
are you going to put them on there?
Yeah, so no. So Dan would have put some of the events, but we're going around the country, so it's going to be a proper little tour. We're going to have a little Order of Merit as well, with some good prizes for the Order of Merit, but that will be updated after each event. If you want to play in one event, you can. If you want to play in every single event, that'd be brilliant.
I think
obviously, the more events you play, the more chance you've got of picking up Order of Merit points. But there will be a proper bus tour this year.
Great.
UK based.
Lovely.
So.
Like it. Well done, you.
Thank you.
Well organised. You and Graham have worked hard on that. And,
well, it's all great, really.
But it's got to
take much credit.
Come together, isn't it? So, so we'll be pushing that out, and any of you want to be involved in it, fantastic. I'm looking forward to meeting as many of you as we can, really.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I think that rounds up.
I think we've been a long chat. We haven't seen each other for a week or so. We're 10 days.
Do you know what though? I have no idea what's coming out next week, so it will just be. It will be what it will be. It might. I might even have a week off. Who knows? We might have a week off. Week off the channel. We might.
No, we won't. We will not be.
Anyway, thank you very much for watching the Sunday morning show. We'll see everybody next week.
See you next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.